All right, we got our Balfouri Communal update for September. Just a note, I know a lot of people get impatient because they really love these videos and want to check them out, but just know that if I didn't post a video, it means that there's really been nothing happening. And for the past several weeks, I haven't caught them out all that much. However, the other night, I went into the tarantula room and was able to catch a few of them out and about. Now, this was originally going to be the Balfouri post for the communal update. However, as you'll see in a minute, I got some more footage after the fact, and before I posted it, thankfully, they're doing things a little more interesting. But as you can see here, occasionally I catch some of them out and about. I do have one that I absolutely love that is always out on the left side of the enclosure every time I check them. It's kind of amazing. He always just sits there, and if I bump the enclosure, the majority of them will quickly scurry away and go back into their dens. He'll just, if he decides to move, he'll usually just kind of nonchalantly turn around and wander back into one of the dens. So here we go, another shot of them just out and about. And this is before I redid my tarantula room last weekend, so you can still see the back of it. Unfortunately, where I've got it positioned now, it's going to be a little more difficult to get the shots from behind. And here we just have one of them kind of hiding out in the corner. Again, I try to come down at night and catch them, and I have the camera that has the night vision. But unfortunately, I've had terrible luck doing it, and I do go to bed early, so sometimes I forget to get up and even check on them. But you can see some of the dens they built here. Those go down way down through and around the back, and you can see that the interior, you can see one of them hiding in there, but it's all webbed up nice and safe and sound. So people that are concerned sometimes that their tunnels will collapse, remember that the tarantulas do web them up. And the other night during feeding time, I snuck in. Now, the last time I fed them, all the crickets and roaches went right into the holes, and I didn't catch any action. This time, however, you can see these two up here are kind of deciding whether or not they're going to fight over a cricket. I caught some really interesting behavior this time around, which I was excited about because, again, they're wild animals. They're not always going to do what I want them to do. They're not always going to do fun things or things that make interesting situations to film. This particular evening, though, which was last night, they actually did. So we got these two here. They're obviously entangled with their limbs, which I find very, very cute. They do kind of socialize. They'll touch each other and move on. And we'll see some of that in a minute, which was one of the more amusing things I've ever seen any of these guys do. And this one over here on the wall, the entire time I was waiting for it to jump down and spring at one of the crickets, and there's going to be a point where one of the crickets comes in from the right. Here he comes, and I'm like, all right, here we go. This is great. We're going to catch a nice, dynamic feeding. There he goes. He knows it's there. It's the cricket, as you can see, is scratching against the acrylic, so the spider definitely knows it's there. Unfortunately, this never pans out. He never gets the cricket while I'm watching. Later on, I came in, and he has a cricket. So I'm going to spare people the suspense. Unfortunately, there's going to be no cricket munching from that guy. But here we've got some interesting behavior with these two kind of wrestling over something. And the one on top has won. He's got the cricket. We will see his buddy, who is in the tunnel, pop up again later on for another rather interesting interaction. And here we got our guy over on the corner who still hasn't figured out how to get that cricket yet. I was glad this time around that some of them actually stayed out in the open to eat, because lately what's been happening is I drop the crickets in, and the crickets, or I've been using red runners as well, will bolt immediately into the dens, and they're quickly munched, and you don't see any of the feeding action. And there's our guy over there. I thought we were going to catch it here. You see now we've got two crickets over there on the right approaching. I know he knows they're there, but unfortunately he's not making that mad leap that I thought I was going to get. I really thought I was going to catch something dynamic here. Wouldn't have been off the tongs, but it would have been cool nonetheless. So we'll just go back to this guy and take a look at him. So you can see they're looking like little adults now, and I think that's the part that amazes me so much, is having raised Balfouris before. It took one of mine 3 years to reach this point, and it was 1.5 inches at the time. These guys did it in a year, and now we can see a bunch of them out. There they are climbing the glass. One of them in the corner has actually got a cricket. This one's got a cricket over the tunnel. Now we're going to see something really interesting in a minute here that I was really trying not to laugh while I was watching because I've never seen anything like this. Now watch this one with the cricket and the one in the tunnel. I have a dog we affectionately refer to as Worm, even though his name is Caesar, and one of the reasons we do is because he kind of antagonizes the other dogs and wants to play all the time, and this is what the behavior kind of reminded me of. You got this one in the hole kind of toying with him, the other one guy kind of going, come on man, back off, and you can see he's literally pushing him with his back legs, trying to get him to leave him alone, while the other one's trying to get up in there. And they do this for quite a bit here. So obviously, this is about as aggressive as they get over food. I've had a couple instances when they were younger with them fighting over one cricket, and in a couple cases, one of them ended up with it. Another time, they ended up actually ripping it in half, kind of like the T-Rexes in the second Jurassic Park there. But as you can see, the other one's just kind of giving up, like, all right, fine, you're not going to give me anything, and he's wandering off. And this one does get some food later on. And there's our buddies over here in the corner. Sorry for the grainy footage here, but unfortunately I'm trying to zoom in and not bump the cage, because if I hit the cage, sometimes they go scuttling away. But this is the most I've caught out in quite some time. That's, I believe, 8 of them you can see at one point. I think that's what I counted, and there's one of them in a tunnel. So all 9 are there, doing great. All of them have molted again since being rehoused, and they were nice enough to come out and play so I could see them that night. And if you liked that video and you haven't been on my channel before, please feel free to subscribe or click one of the videos below. Check out more of my stuff. Maybe I'll convince you then. If not, thanks for watching.